Hey guys, welcome back. Adam Flowers here. It is Mob Vlog. It's April 2nd, 2025, and it's Wednesday today, and we're live. So if you're watching this 4 p.m. Central Time, we are live today, and we're going to be unpacking Charles Nicoletti, everything from his childhood to the supposed JFK assassination and everything in between.
To his death.
Enjoy. This is Mob Vlog.
Yo, Bugsy, it says here they got something called the Vegas Mob Tour.
Yeah, Bobby, ain't you heard? It's all about our old friends Sam Giancana, Meyer Lansky, Mo Dalis, and of course yours truly, Bugsy Siegel.
Are you kidding? A mob tour about us?
Yeah, they take you to where we used to hang out and to all the places where we used to do our crimes.
You mean they expose all our secrets?
Yeah, but it's okay, because we ain't around anymore. So, let's face it, we can't get busted.
Hey, you think we can sneak on board and check this out?
Of course we can. Forget about it. They'll never even know we're there.
Right, Redwood Nut, how are you doing today, sir?
I am doing fine.
Fantastic. So welcome in everybody, and we're gonna be talking Charles Nicoletti.
As soon as I get my right microphone working, how's that sound better?
I was going to say,
So-
Adam,
Just a bit. I forgot to adjust that. Welcome in everybody. It's good to have you guys with us today. I see a lot of comments. We haven't been on for a few minutes, so we have a few comments here. And Tim Peroni, Holman Sanders, Colonel Crank. Never said that name before, but welcome in.
he's a guy.
Mike Alexander, Mickey Griggs, Sean Pender, Mr. Hoffman. All right, guys, the whole crew's here. Well, part of the crew's here anyway. We're going to get this thing started today. Charles Nicoletti. And I guess we have some revelations, too, from the JFK files that were just released, Red.
Yes.
So we're going to go over that as we go through today.
Let's go in order. Let's start in the beginning when he was a youth and end up where he died.
Oh, back when he was a youth.
A youth, yeah.
A youth. Back then.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So Charles Nicoletti. Frank Collada claims to be the last person to see Charles Nicoletti before he was killed. Well, I mean, besides the killers, right? They saw him before they, obviously. Usually the last person to see is the one that does you in. So,
3 shots in the back of the head.
hell of a way to go. 3 shots to the back.
Hey, he was really dead on the first one. They're just making sure.
I mean, isn't one enough?
What did I just get through saying? They probably killed him with 1 shot. They were just making sure.
Making sure. So, bang, he's dead. And then bang, bang, now we know he's really dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not going to be a Kenito and come back.
Oh, yeah. That guy, it was like a bullet bounced off of his head. So, yeah.
Mo's in here. How you doing, Big Mo?
Big Mo, finally able to catch yous guys. All right. Well, good to have yous with us. Good to have all yous with us. So, Nicoletti. He was born before the turn of the century, right?
Yes, he was born in the 1890s.
And his dad was quite abusive.
His dad was 39 years of age when he died, and his dad was a drunk. His name was Philip, or Filippi, or whatever, Philip in Italian. His dad was born in Italy. At any rate, what happened was he used to beat his wife, and Chucky didn't like that as a kid. But then his dad came after him one day, and according to the police records, he came after him with a knife. And so he ran around the house and ran into the bedroom where the father kept a pistol, and he shot him dead. 4 times he shot him. Bang, 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 bang. Then there was a coroner's inquest. And instead of going on trial, they said it was type of death. They said manslaughter, but they said justifiable because he was trying to hurt him.
Self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
So he shot his dad when he was 12.
Early starter.
And some places even say 11. I mean, there's conflicting information if you look
I
around.
saw two different newspaper articles. One was the Times and the other one, or the Herald, and the other one was the Tribune. And I believe it was the Herald that said 11 years old.
Oh. How old was Charles Nicoletti when he killed his father? Just out of shits and giggles, Red.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask.
The majority of the people say 12.
It says that he was 12. Grok says he was 12. He was born December 3rd, 1916, and it happened February 25th, 1929. Oh, so he wasn't born at the turn. He was born in 1916.
Yes. I said
Okay.
the 1890s.
You said 1890s. 1960.
No, his dad was. He was born in 1960. He was born same era that Milwaukee Phil was. They were rap partners. They all through their lives when they were kids and everything.
Yeah.
Phil and him were partners.
So after he killed his dad, he became part of the 42 gang.
Not right afterwards. He was only 12 years old. But he was a thief, and basically they were all thieves that I know of. And eventually he did become part of the 42 gang. And he became very close to Sam Giancana. And Sam Giancana was his guy. So later on, as Milwaukee Phil also joined the 42 gang. And Phil kind of, they hung around together. They used to go out and commit crimes together. As a matter of fact, one of the very famous crimes that they were involved in was the M&M murders. Phil actually organized that thing.
Okay.
And he had other people like Nicoletti there and Tony Spilaccio there and other people that actually did the work of picking somebody up and muscling them around and punching them and stuff like that. Phil was the one that decided to put his head in a vice. But Nicoletti was there. He saw that. He was involved in that. He was involved in a lot of homicides. This guy was well known for being a good hitman. But he was also well known for being Milwaukee Phil's rap partner, or best friend,
Sidekick.
hanging out, buddy.
Wingman.
Yeah, very much so.
And speaking of Wingman, rest in peace, Val Kilmer. That sucks.
Yeah.
The Truth. Adam's the Midwest version of Mr. French Toast.
Thank you, Michael.
Mr. French Toast.
That's Michael Spilaccio.
Who's Mr. French Toast? The Midwest version of Mr. French Toast? All right. Adam's great. I'll go with that. All right. So
You probably have a good flavor.
Mr. French Toast. I like French toast. All right. So that was depicted in the movie Casino. The eye popping out, the head in the vice. So Nicoletti was there.
Very scene that happened in 1962. As a matter of fact, during that, because of that, what happened? Tony actually got made because of that, because Tony was under Phil. They were all part of the same crew. Joey Lombardo.
Wait a second. That's how Tony made his bones?
Yes.
Was the M&M murders?
Yes.
So in essence, Frank Collada helped Tony make his bones.
Yeah, he
set him up, right? He took him to the chicken house.
Yeah, but he told him, he said, it's either going to be you or them. So tell us what happened.
Hey guys, if you're just coming in here, be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you guys haven't already. And it's good to have you guys in here. Did they live in the Patch in Chicago, Nicoletti?
Yes.
Yeah. They were from the Patch. All right. It's interesting.
All these people from that crew, the Grand and Ogden crew or the West Side crew, were all from the Patch. Every one of them. Nicoletti was from there. Milwaukee Phil was from there. Everybody was from there.
Gotcha. Interesting. Very.
Collada was from there.
Who?
Frank Collada.
Of course.
Had he been in another area, he might have been with a different crew.
Question here from Sean Nolte. Just wanted to send Red, Adam, all the regulars a hearty hello, but I have to keep an eye on a possible tornado weather here. Stay safe, Sean. Yeah. Don't know where you're at, but tornadoes aren't any fun.
Mm-mm.
You don't have to worry about those out here in the desert. In the middle of the desert, there's no
just dust devils and stuff like that to just eat up your cars.
Yeah.
And your houses. And
we have nasty windstorms in the middle of the desert, man. Nasty windstorms. So, Peroni, wasn't either Taylor Chuck eating a bowl of spaghetti when the guy was put in the vice? What?
No. I know what he's talking about. When the guy was put in the vice, several people have said he just was eating food at the time, and he didn't care about the guy's eye falling out. Not true.
Eating spaghetti while they were crushing the guy's head.
No, he was actually doing it. Nicoletti wasn't, but Milwaukee Phil was actually closing the vice.
Nicoletti was reportedly eating pasta when the head was in the vice. Who eats spaghetti while they're watching somebody's eyeball?
I think that was from dramatization. Somebody just said it, but I doubt it. It was a piece of business that they were taking care of. I don't think he'd be having a lunch break.
It shouldn't surprise me with these guys. It really wouldn't surprise me.
No, afterwards, I'm sure after the eye popped out, they probably, scooped it up, throw it out, and then sat down to have something to eat. Didn't bother them. Wash your hands. That's all.
It's like that Goodfellas, right? They kill that guy, stick him in a trunk, then they go to Mama's house and start eating spaghetti. While he's out there in the trunk.
Let me wash up. I'll be back in a second.
That's just a little fucked up, if you ask me. But okay.
Sean Pander says, "Didn't it happen in a tavern?" No, it did not happen in a tavern. It happened in a garage.
Yeah,
and that's why the vice was there.
Yeah, why would you have a vice in a tavern? Just thinking out loud. I don't know.
Tim Perotti says his talk to text is not working very well. Sorry.
Oh, you're using talk to text. I see. See, and Red criticizes me for using
AI is so great.
We have passed event horizon, which means AI is now smarter than all of us combined. So, just so you know.
If you believe that, I got some swampland to sell you in Florida.
Oh my God, it really is. AI is smart. It really is. Just you wait, Red. Hey, Adam. Red just got back from the Jewels. Now watching this in my front room. Hey, smash the like button. Right on. So Nicoletti was involved with the 42 gang. He's involved with the M&M murders.
Basically, he was Milwaukee Phil's right arm. But he was also close to Sam Giancana.
Was he made?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. He's a made guy, too. Charles Nicoletti. Frank says that he claimed to be the last person to see him alive. You care to watch that clip?
Yes, I'd love to watch it, and I really believe it's true.
Let's take a look.
1977, I believe.
And it was somewhere before.
Frank, I'm happy to see that you're holding up all right. I wanted to ask if you had any experience with Charles Nicoletti. Take care.
I don't know if I thought, I did talk about him. I believe in my heart I was the last one to sit and talk to him in my lounge, Spanky's. And it was somewhere before it was just getting dark at night. And I know I did. Well, let me repeat it anyway. He came and he was sitting at the bar all alone because we opened up a little later. We actually were open, but people start coming in around 6 or 7. And I believe he was there around 5:30. And he was sitting at the bar, and I found it kind of strange because he never came in there. And I walked up and I said, "Hey, Chuck, what are you doing there? What's going on?" We bullshit a little bit. He said, I got a meeting down the street on North Avenue. He said, I forgot, the Golden Steer, the Golden Bear Steakhouse. It was a steakhouse. I forgot. So I said, oh, okay. And he was like in deep thought, deep concentration. And I bought him a drink. We talked a little longer, just talked. Then he got up and he left. By that time, my doorman, I had 5 doormen that were coming in. And one guy was related to me. And he said, what was he doing there? I said, he's going somewhere. And then they went in and do what they were going to do. And then an hour later, I get a phone call from a guy by the name of Tony Giacomino, maybe 2 hours. And the guy says, guess who just got killed? And I go, who? He says, Chucky Nicoletti. I said, he was just fucking here. He said, he was? I said, yeah, he left about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. He said, they shot him down in a parking lot. He tried to get away, run away from the car. Some hitman. Then I found out it was the Wild Bunch that killed him. The Wild Bunch, meaning Harry Hillman and Butchie Petrocelli and somebody else. This is what I heard from another guy that whacked people. So, and that's because Chucky Nicoletti overextended his authority by giving an okay to whack somebody, which he wasn't allowed to do. You need a council of 3 or 4 guys to do that. And when they turned that down, he went around their back and told the 2 hitmen, don't worry, go do it, I'll take care of it. They did it, and everybody died. That was the consequences they had to pay.
I don't entirely think that that's inaccurate, but I don't think it's 100% the reason. The reason was he had been served with a subpoena. A subpoena. Before the House Select Committee. And he was due to go 2 weeks before his death. And from all accounts that the FBI says, and you have the records, he was found in the back seat of his Oldsmobile with 3 shots to the back of the head. Somebody was sitting in the back seat talking to him, and they got out and just walked away.
So
that restaurant that he was in was originally fronted. The money for it came from Milwaukee Phil. So whoever was running it was like, a front for them, and it was a mob hangout. It was a great mob hangout, and I think it was North Lake, if I'm not, or Forest Park. It was it was right by Frank's place, not far away, less than a mile, and it was 1977, the same year that Johnny Roselli met his end, and he was served with a subpoena to go before the House Select Committee for the second time.
Okay.
So he already talked the first time. He didn't take the fifth all the way.
So both of them were killed in 77?
That's correct. And 2 years before, Sam Giancana was killed. All of them were killed with 22 pistols to the back of the head. Every one of them. Sam Giancana caught a couple in the mouth or whatever. They shot him in the mouth. It was all headshots. Very close. Close up and personal. Now, the records that you have, Achilles, who we know now is Frank Rosenthal.
Let's go through them.
Okay. We have to tell people some of this is inaccurate on the first names.
Some of it is. It's not all done. I don't know. Would they have typos? Maybe they just.
No, the FBI agent didn't really care. The guy that was doing this did not care. It was in the 90s. He thought this would never get out. Nobody'd ever care about it.
Well, this date right here says 79, 2/27/79.
That's when it happened. But if you look at the top, it was done in the 90s.
Oh, Record Collection Act of 92.
Yes.
Release date 17. So it was released in 17.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't released to us in 17.
Okay.
This is a new release.
So Judith Campbell Exner, subjects, page 2. So during the week of 2/5/79, Chicago Bergmer's case, Agent Miami Roscoe, case agent and bureau supervisor Pomerantz received Gangmer's files at headquarters to evaluate the data obtained from Gangmer's program. Approximately 52 murder files were reviewed at headquarters, bearing in mind that the primary incident of the Gangmer's investigation was to determine whether an organized group of assassins exists in the United States conducting hits in quotes at the request of LCN La Cosa Nostra hierarchy. The following 3 conclusions were drawn from available evidence. 1, the majority of Gangmer's victims were hits conducted independently of each other. 2, although a .22 caliber weapon would appear to be the weapon of choice in numerous gangland murders, there's no evidence to indicate that 1 or 2 hitters traveled across the country for La Cosa Nostra, specializing in .22 caliber weapon murders. Okay. Bureau 2, 3, 4, Chicago, Roscoe, Gangmer's, Bergmer's. I don't know what that means. The old numbers, because he was tired of taking crumbs, sources feel that DeSantis or Ailman could have killed Nicoletti. Achilles, that's Rosenthal, Lefty Rosenthal, advised he feels Harry Ailman was given contract on Nicoletti. Anonymous callers identifies Louis Ebele as the killer. Tamara Rand.
Of Tamarin. Here, this says that Louis Ebele, Louis the Mooch, killed Tamarin. When she became a problem with the Stardust, he flew out there and killed her.
Ebele? No, this is saying anonymous callers identified Louis Ebele as a killer of Nicoletti.
That could be.
Tamara Rand is the next subject. Rand threatened to reveal business dealings of Glick. Rand was shot by a .22 automatic at a residence in San Diego on 11/9/75. Achilles advised contract issued by Glick and carried out by Harry Ailman and Corky. Corky's identified. Those are the killers of Rand. Harry Ailman and Corky.
Corky would be Savello from Kansas City.
Corky, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's Kansas City. August Maniazzi found murdered by a .22 caliber next to an automobile at a residence in Milwaukee in 75. Achilles advised that Milwaukee La Cosa Nostra boss Frank Ballestieri ordered it. Witnesses positively identified Charles Nicoletti as the driver. One witness identified Paul Shiro as the shooter. Also, a police source said Shiro killed Maniassi. Shiro fit composite drawing. However, witness failed to identify Shiro in a live lineup. A second FBI source advised Maniassi was killed because he disagreed with Ballestieri. Milwaukee's surveillances in 777 noted meetings between Ballestieri and Steve DeSalvo. DeSalvo was then observing a meeting with Paul Shiro at a racetrack. Maniassi's girlfriend said DeSalvo and Maniassi argued 1 week prior to his murder. Maniassi told her to get a silencer for me, a .38, and said, "I've got to get that little SOB before he gets me." Weapon was purchased at Tamiami Gun Shop in Miami, Florida. At the same time, gun purchase was used in Sam Giancana murder.
90% of the 22s came from Tamiami Gun Shop in Miami. Tamiami was a very famous place.
Okay. And then Ray Ryan. Who was Ray Ryan again?
Ray Ryan was the oil millionaire that Marshall Cafano went to prison for because he tried to extort him. and him and Johnny Delmonico they went to prison.
Okay.
And when they got out, Johnny was not from Chicago. He's from like the Genovese family out of New York. But
Okay.
but they ran together in Vegas, and after he got out of prison, they got back together too.
All right. Ray Ryan was killed in 1977 while entering his automobile. A bomb was detonated in a vehicle adjacent to his. The bombing took place in Evansville, Indiana. Achilles advised that Frank Iupa, means Joe Iupa, not Frank Iupa, ordered a hit, and it was carried out by Frank Schweiss.
That's inaccurate. That hit was carried out by Alva Johnson Rogers and Marshall Cafano, and his name is mentioned also in that document.
How do you know that?
Because I was with him.
Okay. So Achilles advised Joey Iupa ordered the hit, and it was carried out by Schweiss. San Francisco source advised murder handled by Marshall Caifano and Ron DeAngelis, the wizard. Alva Johnson Rogers advised Caifano, probably requested it. However, it would have been carried out by Joey Lombardo. Ryan testified against Caifano and Checky Delmonico in extortion case. Hit was a result.
Yes, that's what I was telling you.
Okay. And then Sam Giancana. Giancana was found murdered in his basement by a 22 caliber automatic 75 Oak Park, Illinois, weapon equipped with a silencer purchased at Tamiami Gun Shop in Miami, along with a weapon used in the Maniasi killing.
The weapon was recovered on Thatcher Road.
Okay. And then Giancana was having an affair with Tony Spilatro's wife.
Not true. He was having an affair with Marshall Cafano's wife. Both Tony Spilatro and Marshall Cafano were overseers in Las Vegas. Whoever wrote this up made some mistakes. Darlene, Marshall Cafano's wife, Darlene, because Marshall used to tell me all the time, he said, I thought I had it made. He was screwing my wife, and I was out in Vegas. That meant when I came home to Chicago, I was going to have everything I needed, except they killed him. And he said, now I got to go out and fend for myself.
Why would he be happy Giancana was having an affair with his wife?
Because it would elevate his position. He couldn't have him killed, but he could go and say, hey, you're screwing around with my wife. He could go to Ricardo and scream. And would get a better position. As it was when he got out of prison, you know what it gave?
You're telling me being cucked by your boss is a good thing.
No. Marshall thought it was. He was laughing about it. He was a playboy. He was dipping his wick everywhere.
Oh, so he was cheating on his wife, so it didn't matter. He was just gotcha.
He laughed about it. He thought it was funny.
You imagine somebody screwing your wife and think that's funny?
No.
I mean, that's just to me.
At the time when he was telling me all this, and Rogers was telling me, I was saying these guys were really perverse. I mean, very perverse.
And this is coming from a smut peddler.
Right.
They're perverse, man.
If you want to see pervert, just look them up in the dictionary. It's right there, pervert.
Oh, all right. Giancana was having an affair with Spilatro's wife. Possible motive, but you're saying it was Caifano.
That's correct.
Okay, but if Giancana was having an affair with Spilatro's wife, then it would be. See, I would think that then maybe Tony did kill Sam Giancana because, if I was Tony, I'd be pissed.
I would agree that, but I would agree with you on that. But this was not written properly. I don't think the agent that typed this up ever thought that it was ever going to be seen publicly.
Really?
Yeah, he thought it was an internal memo.
Shit.
Joshua Allen Marshall says, LOL, dipping his wick. Good one, Red.
Dipping his wick. Dipping his wick.
Yeah. I'm sorry there, folks.
Dipping his wick. Okay. So let's get on with the documents here. So number 5. Power struggle going on between Giancana and Tony Accardo for leadership of Chicago Cosa Nostra.
Major.
And then Achilles stated the following responsible: Frank Iupa, again, he got that wrong, Joe Iupa, Turk Torillo, and Joe Lombardo, and N-word Joe Amato.
That's Negro Joe, only they use a slang.
Okay, yeah, no, I know. I'm trying not to get hooked by the AI here on.
Well, I did it because
I know. I'm just trying not to get hooked. Edward Anthony Buccieri. Buccieri killed 75 in parking lot of Caesar's Palace Hotel, Las Vegas, Nevada. He was shot by a .22 caliber automatic.
All the same.
Caesar's Palace.
They were all like high standard 22s.
Buccieri assisted Alan Glick in obtaining a $142 million loan from the Teamsters Pension Fund loan. How did Buccieri assist Glick with that loan? I don't understand that.
He talked to Joey and he talked to Alan Dorfman because they were working together, and they took a $1.4 million finder's fee for actually making that loan.
Oh, for setting up the deal, really?
Yeah, 1.4 mil.
Boy, that's a nice little payday, huh?
Yeah, well, Alan needed the mob to collect it. Alan Dorfman needed the mob to collect it for him, but he was the guy that gave the stroke of the pen that okayed it. So it worked out fine for them.
I thought Jimmy Hoffa had to give the stroke of the pen for the final say.
But he was no longer around. He was dead or missing in action.
Oh, he was dead by that point?
He was missing in action.
When was he? When did Hoffa go missing? What year? Do you know?
1980.
Oh, well, this was before then. This was 75.
He was missing in action. He had all kinds of legal problems. He was in Washington, D.C. He was at his own Teamster building, or they built a Teamster building for him by then.
Okay.
And he was sparring with what's his name? Kennedy, Robert Kennedy.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest problems with that whole thing was very simply this. Jimmy Hoffa delegated everything. And actually, later on, it came up with Morris Shanker, because Morris Shanker got a loan in the 70s from Hoffa. And Joey Lombardo went to collect it. And that's the tape that you heard where he said, if you want to be 71, you're 70 now, you want to live to be 71, you'll do the right thing. Well, Morris Shanker was the attorney that arranged everything for Circus in Las Vegas. And Tony was involved in that. Tony Spilotro was involved in that and the setup. And the skim, they got a piece of it. So Morris made the statement, I made my arrangements with Hoffa. I didn't make them arrangements with you. And they said, we don't care because he's not around now. We're collecting.
Got ya. Okay. So Glick refused to give Buccieri a finder's fee, and they argued. Buccieri threatened to go to the Gaming Commission and the grand jury. Achilles advised the killing was ordered by Alan Glick and committed by Spilotro, Hansen, and Shiro, the killing of Buccieri.
Could have been.
Okay.
They all had a good reason to do it.
And then Eddie Lazar found murdered in 75 in the parking lot at a Phoenix, Arizona. He'd been shot by a 22. He had been shot. He was shot by a 22 caliber weapon. Howard Woodall, Phoenix con man, advised that in 1972, his attorney, Burton Hirsch, attempted to arrange a hit of Stan Tanner for Making Waves. Hirsch suggested bringing in hitmen from Chicago named Hopalong and One-Eyed Jack. Hopalong and One-Eyed Jack sound like rappers from Chicago from today.
They were nicknames. They were nicknames.
Little Hopalong.
Hopalong was Frank Schweiss. He had the piece of lead in his leg. They called him Limpy, but some people said Hopalong. The other guy? I don't know who it is. You got to read between the lines on this stuff.
It appears so. So those are the documents. Let's take some of these questions and comments, guys. Alan B. He was declared dead in 82. I think we're talking about Hoffa. Declared dead in 82. Hoffa went missing in July 30th of 75. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate that.
I told you he was gone. Everybody else was doing business with Alan.
Spirit of Justice. They called an Italian guy the N-word. Why'd they call him that? I mean, why'd they call an Italian guy that?
It was his nickname. His nickname was.
I know you don't have to say it.
Blank Joe.
I get you.
Blank Joe. That was his nickname.
Yeah. N-word Joe. Okay, but he was an Italian guy. He wasn't a black dude.
He was also in the Last Supper. When you see the dinner there, he's one of the people that's in the Last Supper.
Okay. All right.
It wasn't like today where you can't say that name without offending people. It was said quite often. And nobody black people, they didn't get upset over it. The whole world was not that sensitive back then.
It's hard to believe.
Not for me. I was there.
It's hard to believe. For somebody my age, it's hard to believe that you just, okay, because.
Just like on the tapes with that I had in my apartment. What's his name? Not Schweiss. Tadino. One time he was taking the money that I gave him and he put it down in his sock. And I said, What are you doing that for? And he said, well, I may have to go through some bad neighborhoods and I don't want any of those blanks to get my money.
Gotcha.
So it was common use.
Yeah. Gotcha. Comment here. Gomph. Lefty did more talking to the feds than I thought. Lefty was an informant.
He did like maybe 25 pages more than you thought. He has a file that's outrageous.
Lefty was an FBI informant. They rolled him in the 60s, right after he was
1960.
He was trying to bribe a college ball player to throw a game.
He did. He actually upset the game.
Really?
Yeah. I believe it was Nebraska or something like that. College game.
South or North Carolina.
You got it. South, yeah.
Yeah. I think it was South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah.
Spirit of Sigma. Hey, buddy. Spirit of Sigma. That's right. Only us, Scott. Let me say something to you. The truth of the matter is, this is not our opinions. This is history, guy. I mean,
yeah, no. What Scott said was now only blacks can use that word.
And here, I'll give you another word that you probably don't even know.
He's just agreeing with Scott on that. That's right. Only us.
Spirit of justice. When I was in the Marine Corps, black people were referred to as splibs. And I didn't even know that until.
Is that word going to get us in trouble saying that here on YouTube, Red?
Really?
I'm asking you. Do you think that word's going to get us in trouble?
I don't think so. I was just going to explain to you. The guy that said it to me was a black sergeant. And he said, "Was he a splib like me?"
Splib.
You know, we were looking at somebody. Yeah.
What's that? What does that mean?
Black person. Look it up. I don't know what it means. It's a slang term.
Oh, boy.
It was not negative. I'm looking it up right now.
I am. Splib, huh?
It says splib, N meanings, ematology, and more. It's a noun. Main use for the definition.
SP, not SB. Not
SPLIB.
Splib. Yeah, it was used in the U.S. military during the 60s and 70s Among Marines and sailors to refer to a black man. Okay. I never heard.
Well, I heard it a lot. And it wasn't derogatory. It was a name that was accepted.
It says, for example, it might have been used casually, like, hey, that splib over there knows how to play cards. Or more negatively, as in a derogatory jab. The term has largely faded from modern use and isn't common today. Okay.
I never heard it back then used as that at all. I'm a proud split, whatever that is. Thank you, buddy.
I'm a proud Polak, man, whatever that is. You know what I mean?
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. But the first time I heard it used, it was a sergeant, and it was overseas in Vietnam. And he turned around and he said, I was telling him about a situation. He said, is the guy over there? And he was pointing. And I said, yeah, he's sitting over there in that crowd. And he said, which one is he? And I said, and he said, is it a splib? And I said, no. The one on the left? No. It was used for an identification purpose in my life.
You know what they called the first telephone pole?
No.
Alexander Belowski.
Dr. Shu says we were still using it in the Navy in the 80s.
Okay. So it's still going around, I guess, in the.
And Scott says, I never heard of splib. Of course, you weren't in the military.
I've never heard that word either. Tim Peroni. All right, back to Chucky Nicoletti. Was Chuck taken out because of what he might have said about the November 22nd, 1963 to the committee he was about to go in front of?
Yes. Yes.
Well, what was November 22nd, 63?
Kennedy's death.
Death? Okay. Well, you know, you'd laugh at me and shit like I was there. You know what I mean? I wasn't even around when that happened. It's not like I go, oh, I could tell you exactly where I was. Like 9/11, I could tell you exactly where I was when that happened. But JFK's assassination, I wasn't even a twinkle in my daddy's eye yet, okay? Okay.
I'm older than dirt, man.
November 22nd. Got it. Okay. Sorry, I had to. That's what I thought it was, but I had to.
22nd, 1:30 p.m.
Gotcha.
Central time.
Central time. Central. Okay. Oh man. Peter Faulkner, Scott H is back. I'm a subscriber to Scott H. How are you doing, my Lord Scott? Early, Peter. All right then. Okay. My dad, a Marine, called submariners bubbleheads. I've heard that. I heard that. Bubbleheads. I hear that 128 bubbleheads go down and 64 couples come up.
Jarheads, Marines got called just about everything.
They called them jarheads because they said they untwisted the top of your head, took your brains out, scrambled them up, put them back in there, and twisted the top back on.
USMC used to stand for Uncle Sam's Mountain Climbers.
Mountain climbers, really?
Yeah, we climbed the mountains in Camp Pendleton.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Yeah, you know, I bought a book. Got this Marine Corps book. See that? Right there. The 1067. I thought this was the book that Red was in, but it's not. It's not. Just some, you know, regular old pictures. They're in every book. Yeah, see that? Not Red's book. That's from the 80s. I wasted $50.
Spirit of Sigma Empath, Jarheads, aka Leathernecks, Devil Dogs. We were called a lot of names, guy. A lot of names.
Yeah.
Seagoing bellhops.
Is Adam still blown that cars used to have record players? LOL. It is blown to me, man. I'm telling you. I didn't believe Red when he said he had a record player in his car. I was like, you're fucking kidding me, man. You can't have a record player in a car. The car is going to bounce around. The record player is going to jump.
He finally had springs on him where the player didn't bounce around at all.
You know, the record player was upside down and the needle went up on the thing. And yeah. Sure. Okay. Maybe in the ISS, but not in the car. Well, they wouldn't have had a record player in the ISS.
No.
Why would you take a record up there?
Semper Fi, Mr. Red Dye Jamez? Red Dye Jamez?
Mr. Eddie Jimenez. That's a Hispanic name. That's Mr. Eddie Jimenez. Jimenez.
Okay.
Hey, has anybody watched Mobland on Paramount Plus? Anybody see the first episode of that? It's got Tom Hardy and Pierce Bronson in it. Kind of interesting, fun show. I started watching it yesterday. I thought all the episodes were out. They aren't. They just put one. It's going to be one a week. Fuck this. I got to wait a couple of months until it's all down, and then I can watch it. I just like to binge through something. So, Tim Perrone, Files was too important as a CIA asset to be taken out until he went to jail.
No, that's wrong, Tim. Tim, you come up with these theories that are crazy. They were trying to kill him. The two police officers that arrested him, and he was charged with attempted murder on both the police officers, they were trying to kill him. Read his book. He'll tell you all about it. I knew the story way back then. I said those are contract agents. They might have been police officers, but they were contract agents.
Jim Magnifici. Red would know what SOS was in the mess hall. I know what SOS is. And
on a shingle, man. On a shingle.
On a shingle, man. Yeah. It's in gravy, except they use toast. Yeah. I was watching TV on March 30th, 1981. June 13th, 2024. Rick, what happened on March 30th, 81 and July 13th, 2024 was a Donald Trump attempted assassination. I'm going to guess March 30th because that was the Reagan era. Must have been the Ronald Reagan attempt.
It was when Reagan was the guy shot him. John Hinckley shot him, but he did not kill him. But he tried.
High Sierra Dawn. I mean, that's her name. High Sierra Dawn. Hi, Sierra Dawn. My dad made SOS. I loved it. She's cooking right now in the kitchen. She's listening to us. I wonder what she's cooking.
Beef on toast.
Yeah. Was that?
It was cream chip beef on toast. And yes, Alan B said it was Reagan. Ronald Reagan.
Yes. I want to start watching Mobland on Paramount. Jim Magnifici. You need to. It's a fun. It's really good. Plus, those actors are great. Tom Hardy and Pierce Bronson, good actors. I really like Tom Hardy. So he was fun in Venom.
Yeah. Tim Perrone is definitely
the CIA. If the CIA wanted him to, he would have been dead.
I think once he was arrested for murder and he was locked up forever, he was not supposed to get out. They didn't care if he was dead or not. They may have tried to kill him on the inside, but I doubt they did.
Okay.
They already made him out as a kook. Nobody believed him.
So, with those JFK files coming out, they said that James Files was there that day.
That's correct. It actually shows in the files he was there, that he was actually involved with Chucky Nicoletti, the man we're talking about today.
Right.
Yeah, that's the way it was. And Goff, you're right. They tried to kill him, Files, just before he went to prison. That's what he went to prison for.
Gotcha.
Two police officers had him and somebody else. I don't know the name of the other guy, but they started shooting at him in Lake County, and that man they returned fire, and they were arrested for attempted murder on police officers, and they got an outrageous sentence, or he did anyway. I don't know what happened to his partner.
And now John Hinckley plays guitar every weekend at a bar in Williamsburg, Virginia.
Yes, he's out.
Really?
He's on medication now.
What do you mean he's on medication now?
He's been out some time. They got him on. He was bipolar, something wrong with him. He said he heard voices, and that's why he did it. and he's out now. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. I
Yeah.
know Brady's dead. Brady was killed in that. The Brady bill.
They got those miracle drugs now, Red, that takes somebody that goes like this and just goes. Xanax, lithium, Prozac, Seroquel, Wellbutrin. What else am I taking? That was a joke, man. That was supposed to be a laugh right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Red, he's like, I'm serious about that. Like, I'm really on all that shit.
I ain't saying nothing. I was waiting. I was waiting for your punchline.
That was July. Jodie Foster made him do it.
No.
The hell? Jodie Foster made him do it? What?
Well, he said at the time his statement he wanted to impress Jodie Foster.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's one of those kind of special.
He had a crush. He had a crush on Jodie Foster. And said,
Oh, I know how I get.
I'm going to be somebody, and he went to kill the president.
I
They're
know.
very close.
I'm going to get her attention. I'm going to go kill somebody.
And 20 years later, after I get out of prison, she ain't going to know my name.
Holy shit! Some people are crazy.
Rick Charlton's got a good point here. The CIA wanted Fidel Castro and never got him. So they don't always get their man.
That's true, right? Look how long they chased Pablo.
Hinckley was
didn't they?
Joints West, Jolly's West. Yeah, there was a lot of LSD involved with Hinckley.
They did get Pablo Escobar, though.
Yes.
He's in Florence,
Oh,
Colorado.
they just got his son. They just got his son recently.
Yeah. Mm.
Adam, you need to take a sniff of Rush.
Right. Oh yeah, happy birthday, Red.
Thank you.
Tomorrow's
Thank you.
birthday. Yeah.
Probably kick off something without a thumbnail and just go, hi, folks. Happy birthday. I had some folks drop in on me yesterday, and I said, oh, man, it's 8 o'clock at night. You know, what are they coming here for? And I heard the doorbell ring. Dog was running around. I go and answer the door. There's about 6 people waiting outside. And I said, what the heck's this? It's not Christmas carols. And I open up the door, and they all come in, and they had different gifts that they brought to me. Greeting cards and other things are on the table behind me. But
you were going to say frankincense, incense, and myrrh.
they told me they couldn't make it here Thursday. So, you know, Tuesday was the only day they could make it. And they decided to stop by. I thought it was real nice of them. Good people.
That's nice. That's nice. I had a birthday on Friday. Last Friday was my birthday a few days ago.
I called you and wished you a happy birthday.
No, I know you did. I was just telling everybody else because they all owe me a happy birthday now.
No, they did it on Facebook. So you even thanked them. Come on, give me a break.
I know. Kidding.
Thank you, Sierra.
Um,
and Mick, here we go. They're all going.
I know they're all going to pop up. There's my happy birthday. See that? Dawn gave me one. She gave you one though too. So that's good. Our birthdays are real quite close. My wife's birthday is the day after your birthday.
Yes, the 4th.
Yeah, so it's like all 3 birthdays right there. Bam.
Friday.
Yeah. Charlton. That's the made-up story to cover the deep state. Hinckley's dad was a spook for Bush's CIA.
That's a fact.
Yeah?
Yes.
Wow.
But I don't think he was what you call a spook. He worked in the office. He was not a field agent.
Oh, Chris's birthday was 3/28. That's Chris 3/28, March 28th. That's your birthday. See, so same birthday as me. Happy birthday, Chris. Oh, wow, everybody's having birthdays.
Josh Marshall says happy birthday to the man Sam DiStefano's basement survivor.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, so all right, guys. Well, it's been fun this afternoon. And we got next Wednesday blocked. I don't know what we're gonna do next Wednesday, but we're gonna be on next Wednesday. So cool. We covered Charles Nicoletti.
I'm gonna something real nifty. I'm going to think of something real nifty, but I may talk to you. I'm not even putting a thumbnail up. I'm just going to go live tomorrow on my birthday, and we'll just have a 10-minute chat or so, and I may tell you what it is.
Okay, sounds good. We'll see.
Sounds good.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you. Sounds like a plan. Peter Faulkner, thank you very much. Appreciate the super sticker. And good to see you live, Dr. Shu.
Yes.
And Scott H says see you tomorrow. So we'll see you tomorrow, Red. You have a great day. And we will see you next time. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. And God bless everybody. See you soon. Mob Vlog.